We are now live. Hey players, welcome to another live stream here on my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Josh. Every single week I make videos sharing tips, ideas, and stories, teaching you how to be your best self. And now on Thursdays, I love to do Q&A live streams where I open it up to you guys, the people in the chat, the people watching, to ask whatever's on your mind, any questions you may have, anything that you may want to talk about or share. So feel free to jump in. Is this streaming right? I think it is streaming right. Okay. I think we're okay. It says no data. All right, I think we're good. All right, just checking. YouTube is confusing me there. Welcome, guys. I'm happy to have all of you guys here on the live stream. Super pumped, super excited to jump in and chat with you guys. I want to give shout outs to all the early birds in the chat. Those are the people that are jumping in from the get-go. They were here right from the beginning, so feel free to jump into the chat right now and say hi, and I'll give you guys your due shout out. Let's see who we got in here. All right, there we go. Now it says excellent condition. It was saying no data. Now it says excellent condition. Good, good, good. What is up, everyone? Let's see who we got in here. Leo the Beast. Good to have you, man. Good to see you back in here. Devin Palmer's in here. Yasmin A. Yasmin says, hey, Josh and everyone. Happy to have you in here, Yasmin. Haley Davidson. Welcome back, Haley. Good to have you back on board. The Juan Speaks is in here. Anthony Miller. Anthony Quentel. Jim Machine is in here. Johnny Chavez. My nose is itchy. Hamish K, what is up, Hamish? Kevin Geving is in here. Ike Hunter. Let's see. The Josh Sings. Good to have you, the Josh Sings. We got the Josh Sings and we got the Juan Speaks. The Blank is in here. Bean 2.0. Good to have you, Emma. Always a pleasure to have you in here. Rage Master, my man, Rage Master is in here. The One Guitar Guy. Good to have you as well. Privyet, Rage Master. Good to have you in here. Carter Gordon, living in 2021. What is up, everyone? Yasmin A as well. Gary DeLeon, I think, is in here. Says, hey, happy to have all of you guys in here. This is going to be a fun live stream. Like I said, if you have questions, if there are thoughts on your mind, things you want to talk about, feel free to jump into the chat and post them, and I will try pronounce Caven. Okay, Caven Giving. My apologies. Dark Tar Gaming, good to have you, man. Velasco, David Antonio, happy to have you on the stream. Ariana Maria LaGuardia Tercios, good to have you too. Emma, I'm on your TV. That's awesome. Cool, guys. So like I said, if you have a burning question, if you have a question, feel free to jump into the chat. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up on this video. Now, if you have a burning question, as people submit questions, I might miss some of them in the chat. If you have a burning question, something that is on your mind that you want to put in front of me, front and center, you can always use the super chat function for that. That's, you could click the little super chat button that should be down there as you guys are typing. Along the lines, there should be a little $sign. You can donate $1, $2, $5, whatever it is. It'll put your question front and center. I will stop what I'm talking about, and I'll jump in and answer your questions. Super chats are also a good way to support the channel and support what I do. So if you just want to kind of donate $1, $2 just to say, hey, Josh, I like what you're doing, that's always fine too. But yeah, I treat those burning questions very, very seriously. So I will stop and I will give you due dedicated time to answer your question. Otherwise, I'll just jump in and answer what people are asking in the chat. So I want to jump over to you guys now. Let me switch this back here. If you guys have any questions, what's on your mind? Let's see what you guys got to ask in here. Leo says, is there a way the chat cannot be delayed? Yeah, I'm wondering if it's a matter of OBS pulling in the chat. I mean, I have the chat from YouTube pulled up here, but I think the chat that shows up on the screen might be delayed. I'm not sure. But I think the delay actually might be good because I'm seeing Stuart pop up. Stuart's popping up. Stuart says, hi. Let's see. Rage Master says, hey, Josh, do you like the Carpenters? If so, what's your song? Oh, man. What is my, I don't really know too much about the Carpenters. I've heard some of their songs, but I can't think of one off the top of my head now. You kind of put me on the spot there, but yeah, I like them generally. I feel like I've heard a lot of their songs and I like them overall. Chase says, need last minute help on how to tell my crush I like her and I want to date. Also, I have a jerk friend who's trying to take her from me. How should I deal with him? We don't talk. Should I finish it like men? So a few things there. Let's address them one by one here. You want help on how to talk to your crush and tell her that you like her and ask her out on a date. Let's approach that one first. Now, this girl that you like, I guess you ultimately have to ask yourself, how well do I know her? Do I talk to her regularly? Do we joke around a lot? Do we have a close friendship? What's your kind of status with this girl? I think that if you want to tell this girl you have a crush on her, I think first you have to make sure you have laid the groundwork there so that the two of you are comfortable with each other. Far too often, I think guys go from 0 to 100 when it comes to telling someone how they feel, right? I'm a big believer, and I say this all the time, show a person how you feel, don't tell them how you feel, right? You show them how you feel by talking with them, by joking with them, by finding things in common, by asking them to hang out, by spending one-on-one time together. That's how you show them how you feel. And after you've dedicated that time in doing that, where you feel like, I can easily talk to this person, I can easily ask them to hang out, I know they're just as inclined to hang out with me as I am with them, then I think it's okay to tell them how you feel. It shouldn't be a matter of, well, I casually talk to them once in a while in school and we never really hang out or anything, but I'm just gonna put it out there and confess to them, and they could say they like me or they don't. Don't put yourself in a position where you're flipping a coin. It's much better to put yourself in a position where you have a greater chance and a higher weight that to success towards what you want to do, right? And the way that you do that is by really investing the time in getting to know that person better. So that's what I think you should do. If you want to tell this girl you like her, invest that time, get close to her, and then say it to her. Now, for the second piece here, you mentioned, oh man, let me scroll back up. Oh yeah, you mentioned here that you have a jerk friend who's trying to take her from you. How should you deal with him? You don't talk. Should you finish it like men? I don't think there's a reason to fight a friend over a girl like that. In fact, I don't think there's ever a reason to fight a friend over interest over any kind of girl, right? You shouldn't fight anyone over a girl that you're interested in. It seems like a weird thing to do. Usually, if you're going to fight, it should be to protect someone and not to, like, if you beat him up, that's not going to make him stop liking her, and it's not going to decrease the chances of her potentially liking him. So fighting him isn't really going to do much. I think what you're better off doing instead is focus your attention on showing her why you're a better person to be with than him, right? You can't stop how he feels. You can't stop what he does. If he wants to talk to her, if he wants to interact with her, if he wants to flirt with her, he's going to probably do it. What you can really do is focus on doing that better than him. That's going to be your strategy. I think that's the best strategy to take, right? Really focus on, you know what? I'm a unique person. Let me showcase that with her. Let me interact with her in a way so she thinks I'm funny. She thinks I'm courageous. She thinks I'm fun. Let that be what you stand out more for. But really, really good question there. Let's take a water break here. All right, let's get back in. Let's get this chat bumping, guys. If you guys got questions or things on your mind, jump in and ask it. Let's grab some more here. Haley says, I have a really big crush on this guy. We've hung out a few times with another friend. We've mentioned having an alone time date. Awesome. Any suggestions on where to go so we can talk? Yeah, Haley, this is a really, really good question there. I think a lot of times people are just not sure, like, what's a good first date? What's a good way to kind of hang out with someone where it's not awkward and weird and it's not like too over the top, right? Like a dinner date might be too over the top if you're just trying to get to know someone, right? Because that's a big commitment. You're sitting down with each other. There's this pressure to like talk and make things work. I would say a good way to kind of get to know a person, if there's a few different ways you can go with this. One way is this, that if you have a mutual friend in common, right? You said that you're friends with them. Try to organize a group hangout, more than just the three of you, right? You don't want it to just be you, your female friend, and then the guy. You want there to be maybe like a fourth person or, another guy, another girl, whoever, maybe just a fourth person, because the whole purpose ultimately is that you want to have enough people there so that you can kind of split off with the guy a little bit, right? You can split off with him and you can kind of talk with him one-on-one, but at the end of the day, you can always return back to the group if things get weird, if you feel like you're bored in the moment, whatever it is, you can always return back to the group. So those group dates are great because you're able to kind of like split off and come back. And simple group dates might just be, hey, let's all go to the park together. Hey, if there's a lake or water by you, go hang out by the lake or water, something along those natures. I have a few other suggestions there, but I want to get to Hamish's super chat. Hit the mic there. I want to get to Hamish's super chat. Hamish, thank you so much for the 10-pound super chat, man. I really appreciate it. Hamish said, Josh, picture this. there are 4 girls that you like. The first one is your best friend. The second one is your ex. The third one is your work colleague. And the fourth one is another friend's sister. Which do you date? Oh man, Hamish. That is a lot of options there. Okay, let's look through each one. So the first one is your best friend. That one might be a little bit difficult to navigate. It might be a little bit difficult to navigate because you have to kind of now weigh in, oh, we're friends. Is it going to ruin our friendship if we don't like each other? It doesn't work out. So maybe you can move that lower on the poll there. The second one is your ex. Well, if they're your ex for a reason, guys. I think this is something I always try to explain to people whenever they talk about, should I get back with my ex? Should I date them again? They're an ex for a reason, right? So it's important to remember why you guys didn't work out in the first place. Now, look, maybe you've grown, maybe they've grown, and maybe you want to try it again. That's fine. But recognize that the challenges you faced before, you really have to really think of how you've grown from those struggles and challenges, right? So let's say your ex was rude and mean to you and you guys broke up, but you still like them. Well, do you feel like they've changed in their personality? They're not going to act like that? Do you feel like if you get back into it and they still act like that, are you able to deal with it and manage it better now? Think about it like that. So that's the ex. The third one you mentioned was a work colleague. And I'll try to get through this quicker before it disappears from the screen. The third one is your work colleague, right? So if the third one is your work colleague, that could work, but then you always kind of run the potential risk of things being awkward at work. The fourth one is another friend's sister. Which do you date? And this is also another interesting one because sometimes it could be weird approaching a friend's sister, right? Because your friend might be very protective and territorial. Dang, Hamish, this is a real tough one there. Which one do you pursue? All of those come with their unique challenges, and I think ultimately what I personally would recommend is pursue all of them. I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but pursue all of them. Get to know each one better, and then you'll start to naturally weed out the ones that you don't really feel a deep connection with. There's nothing wrong with taking time to date multiple people, because when you date multiple people, what you're allowing yourself to do is really decide based on your options. When you're only pursuing one person, it's either yes or no with them, right? Like, am I going to date them or am I not going to date them? You don't really spend too much time thinking, are they the best fit for me? But when you have multiple people, you do, right? That question pops up. Which one do I fit with the best? And you start to really analyze from that perspective. So I would recommend pursuing all of them. If I had to say which one of those is the safest to pursue, I would probably say a friend's sister, because the reason why I'd say a friend's sister is because you can talk to your friend, and if your friend is cool with it, he can be on your side and try to help bring you guys together, so you can have an advocate in your corner. So that'd be my suggestion there. But thank you so much for the 10-pound super chat, Hamish. That was a really good thought experiment. It's like, man, which would be the easiest? I had to really think about that for a minute, but really, really good question there. Cool, let's jump into some more here. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this correctly. Ryunosuke, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, I'm sorry, Tanaka, says, I'm just way too shy to talk to her. She's really pretty, but she doesn't seem interested in talking too much. But this is really good advice. Okay, cool. That wasn't so much a question, but yeah. That'd be my piece there. Like, if you are around someone that's shy, I think here's the thing. When you're talking to someone and they're shy, what they're most likely feeling is... this fear of like, is this person going to think I'm weird? Is this person going to judge me? Does this person think I'm boring? A lot of shy people tend to have a lot of self-reflection, right? They're worrisome and nervous about how other people are perceiving them. So here's the thing. If you know that someone is shy, go into that equation and interacting with them, knowing what they need, right? So if you go in knowing what they need, you recognize... this person might be thinking that I'm judging them. So let me make sure to assure them that I really enjoy talking to them. That might be saying something like, man, you're so easy to talk to. I really enjoy being around you. Saying something like that might put them at ease, might make them less shy because they realize, okay, this person doesn't think I'm a weirdo. Another thing too is that a shy person might feel nervous about sharing or opening up. So what you can try doing is opening up and sharing about yourself and then leading that into a question that maybe they can give a perspective on. So that might mean like if you ask a person, hey, what's your favorite movie? And they're shy and they're like, oh, I don't really know. And they don't really give you an answer. You might say, well, my favorite movie is this. I like this movie. I grew up watching it. It's such a powerful movie. What I really love about it is it's super high intensity and emotion. What's a movie that you've seen that like really evoked that level of emotion for you? Like lead in with a story and then shift it back to a question so that maybe now they can work with that and give you an answer. I think that there are a lot of things that we can do to help shy people feel more comfortable and at ease. And that should be our goal if we want to get closer to that shy person. But yeah, good perspective there. Okay, that one guitar guy says, Josh, I need some help. My school year ends next month and I've been too nervous to talk to my crush all year. What should I do? Try to talk to her this year or wait until next year? Good point. Really good point. Here's what I would honestly suggest, and because I think this happens towards the end of every school year, right? You're getting down to the crunch period now. You're getting down to that point where, it's like, okay, well, I haven't talked to this girl. I want to talk to this girl. What's the right time? And what's going to happen is that the weeks are going to go by. And before you know it, it's the end of the school year and you didn't do it. Here's what I would honestly recommend for you. I did a video about it. I'll link it up over here in the replay. But what I would really recommend is talk to her now. Talk to her now because what you got to understand is let's say the school year ends, you are now going to have 2 months or so, summer months, you're going to have 2 months or so where you're going to probably have no contact with her at all. Meaning you're going to be starting back from zero come September or August, whenever you go back to school, right? What you want actually is you want to use the last few months, the month or so that you have at school and the summer as a way to build up hype for your return back to school. Right? This is going to be a time period. Think of like this is the movie trailer for the movie that's going to debut when you come back to school. And here's how you can do that. How you can do that is start talking to her now. Approach her and say, hey, let me get your opinion on something. I'm trying to think of places to visit or things to do during the summer. What are your plans for the summer? Is there any places that you go with your family or any cool things you do with your friends? Try to approach and have a conversation with her and just get some ideas from her about fun things to do during the summer. And as you talk to her, just assure her, be like, you're pretty cool. I don't know why I've never talked to you before, but let's keep in contact. And now that you've kind of set the stage there, talk to her every day, every few days or so in school, whenever you can, leading up to graduation. Not before graduation, because you're going back to the same school, but before the end of the school year. Now, when the school year ends, what you want to do is connect with her on social media, talk to her and stuff, and tell her, hey, I remember we talked about doing this cool, fun thing. Well, I'm going to try to get a few people from school together at the end of the year, just to kind of hang out before we kind of take off for the summer. Do you want to join us? Invite her into your world. And now you can spend time talking to her throughout the summer. Because if you're going to talk to her throughout the summer, maybe you will hang out, maybe you won't hang out, but you're going to start building up towards the beginning of the school year where then you could start flirting with her. Start flirting with her over the summer, start talking with her, interacting with her. So when you see her in school again, now you can show the confident you and approach her and be super confident talking to her. Don't waste this time period. It's a crucial time period to build time with your crush. Azim, thank you so much. Azim is like the super chat king, guys. He always pops in. He's like 15 super chats and stuff. I appreciate it though, Azim. All right, let's see what Azim said. All right, Azim said, do you think girls will ever understand how hard it is for guys to cold approach? Really, really interesting question. It seems like it'd be easy for them because any girl can approach and succeed. That's a really, really good question. So I think that in a general sense, I don't think a lot of girls really understand how nerve-wracking it is to have the pressure to cold approach or talk to someone, right? I think typically guys put a lot of emphasis on the idea of getting rejected, right? And they're more used to it because there's pressure on them to approach, right? When there isn't pressure on you to approach, you're not really so worrisome about rejection. It's not always in the back of your mind. Maybe you are if you know that you have to approach, but if it's not something you typically do, then it's not there. I think ultimately, the way that we kind of allow girls to kind of get a better insight into like cold approaching and that fear that's there is to have conversations like this, right? To talk to friends, to open up and share your experiences. I think a lot of guys are kind of fearful of sharing the things that makes them feel nervous, especially with other girls, because they don't ever want to look weak or look weird or anything like that. It's like, well, you can't tell a girl that you're nervous around her, that she's going to think you're a loser, right? But the truth is, it's like, the nervousness you're feeling is part of your experience. And I think that it's best to be open about your experiences, right? Now, that doesn't mean walk up to a girl that you're cold approaching and say, hi, I'm nervous right now. I'm not saying that, but I think that you can start by talking to friends and opening up to them. You can share those experiences with the girls you know in your life. And I think like that's a good way to start introducing girls to some of the fears that guys may have in approaching, right? And the same thing vice versa. It's like, the same way that girls are becoming more open about sharing their nervousness about being alone in a room with guys or walking down the street and getting catcalled, and these experiences that make them feel nervous and worrisome, they're sharing and opening up those experiences. I feel like guys also need to open up and share those experiences as well. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you weak. It just makes you human, right? And dialogue and conversation is how we really learn. But to the second piece there, it seems like it'd be easy for them because any girl can approach and succeed. You would think that. You would really think that. But because the rate at which girls approach guys is very, very small compared to guys approaching girls. But not every single girl that approaches a guy will succeed, right? Like, we're just assuming that the guy will automatically like her, which is not always the case, right? Girls, just like guys, can be awkward, can be weird, can be shy, can be nervous. And the same things that you may struggle with when starting a conversation, a girl will struggle with that too. In some instances, if the girl is, like, let's say, is super attractive, maybe she has less to worry about, right? Because her looks will carry her further. And same thing with guy. If the guy's super attractive, muscular, good looking, his looks will carry him further. But I think ultimately, when we're in a situation where we're talking to a stranger for the first time, I think we all get that tinge of nervousness, whether you're a guy or a girl. But really, really good question there, Azim. I really appreciate it. I got a haircut earlier. I feel like I have hair. It's making me itchy. Okay, cool. Let's jump into some more questions here, guys. Like I said, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up, we're at 25 likes. We can get this to 50 likes. I am 100% certain we can get this to 50 likes. Let's do this. Let's answer some more questions here. McCord says, do you have any advice on how to stop caring what people think of you? Really, really good question there. How to stop caring what people think of you? Well, I would honestly say this, that if you want to get into the mindset where you're no longer worrying about what people think of you or how people perceive you and things like that, I think ultimately what you should recognize is that, if you're not prioritizing the things that matter to you and you're instead doing things that are going to make other people happy or pursuing things in life that are going to make other people happy, that's kind of the first step, right? Start living your life in a way that you are going to feel proud of and happy with. Now, there's always a fear because, like you said, people might judge you, people might think you're weird. But if you can really pursue the things that you want, you're going to start to find meaning in them. And here's the thing, guys: when you start to really find meaning in the things that matter to you, the things that fulfill you, you stop caring about what other people think, right? I'll give you a quick example of that. So when I started the Josh Speaks and I started making videos, a few of my friends, one friend in particular I could think of, told me like, oh, your videos are kind of weird and they're kind of awkward and they're kind of cringy. You know, that's their personal perspective. That's what they thought of my videos. And I remember thinking when this person told me that, I remember thinking to myself, hey, that's okay. I don't make these videos for you, right? I have an audience in mind. I have a viewer in mind. The person I see on the other end is someone that maybe is struggling with starting conversations, maybe is struggling with making eye contact or opening up or asking someone out. And you are not someone that really is dealing with that or looking for that advice. So of course it doesn't connect with you. So other people's perspectives, even when they had negative comments to make, didn't matter to me because I recognized the value in what I was doing. It mattered to me that the thing I was pursuing. So other people's perspectives just didn't really kind of drive in and ruin my intention there. And I think that if you kind of take that approach, it can help you stop caring so much about other people's opinions. Identify the things that really matter to you and pursue them, go after them, and find the meaning in them for you and the value. Whether that value is helping others, whether that value is feeling alive and loving what you're doing, whether that value is expressing your creativity, whatever it may be, really, really dive into it because that's going to allow you to redirect your attention on moving forward rather than moving backwards where everyone else who has something to say wants to keep you. But really, really good question there. Poppy April says, how to be subtly seductive as a girl. Good question, Poppy. I like that. So I think a way to be subtly seductive as a girl is, here's something I think that, and I'm planning on doing a video on this topic. Guys rarely ever get compliments. Rarely, right? Guys never really compliment other guys, right? Like, how often do you tell your guy friend, dude, you look really good, man. Nice outfit. Dude, you look big. You look brolic. You look good. You know, like guys rarely compliment each other. And a lot of that ties into kind of like our social conditioning of like, if a guy compliments another guy, oh, well, you weirdo, you weird, guys don't do that. You know, there's a lot of stuff there. But I think that if you want to be subtly seductive as a girl, compliment a guy, but don't just compliment him on something looks wise. Compliment him on something that that he himself is probably proud of. So if he is talking about beating a video game, be like, that's really cool, you know, like that's awesome, man. You have dedication to sit there and knock out a game like that for like 10 hours. If he is exercising and going to the gym and he's putting in work and feeling good about himself, tell him, be like, I can really see the definition in your chest now as you're working out. Like, you look really good. Like, those compliments are going to make him feel good about himself. And it feeds the ego, or the human ego of wanting to feel like we matter. And I think that that's a way to be subtly seductive, because what you're doing is a few things. You're showing this guy that you're taking notice of him, right? You're aware of him. You're aware of what he's doing. You're aware of what he's bringing to the table. And two, you're showing a sense of interest, right? That compliment can have a bit of flirtiness to it. The compliment can have a bit of a romantic tinge to it, right? Saying something like, wow, you look really good today. You know, we should definitely hang out sometime and get to know each other better. Like, you're being subtle there, right? You're being subtle in the sense that, like, you're not outright saying, I like you. I think you're good looking and hot. You're not saying that. You're kind of throwing in this compliment, and then you're working it into like, let's spend some time getting to know each other better. Now, hopefully he kind of hears that and goes, wow, she likes the way I look, or wow, she admires the things that I care about. And that might make him more interested in wanting to talk to you as well. So that's how it'd be subtly seductive as a girl. Rage Master says, it's been 4 weeks since I quit Twitter. Awesome, Rage Master. Proud of you, man. Man, quitting social media platforms is difficult. Very, very difficult. But I think at the end of the day, it's probably the most rewarding thing you could ever experience. All right, cool. Let's jump into some more here. Carter says, a guy complimented me on my muscles getting bigger. It really made my day. Yeah. Look, Carter, and that's 100% right. I try my best to offer compliments to other guys whenever I see them, right? Because I think that, like I said, guys don't often receive compliments. It's not something that's socially normalized, I think, in our culture, really, right? So I think that if we have the opportunity to make someone feel good, guy or girl, whomever, let's take that opportunity, right? What do we lose from letting someone feel good about themselves? You know, that's how I look at it. All right, let's get some more questions in here. Gil Samsoon says, hi, Josh, I have a question. How to know when you meet the one? Like the one, because sometimes it seems hard. Really, really good question. All right, I'm gonna be brutally honest here. I don't believe in the concept of the one, right? I don't think that there is one perfect person out there for you. I don't think it's real. The reason why I don't think it's real is because we have the ability to form such deep connections with so many people. And those connections only come about if we invest time and effort and patience and care into them. So you may have multiple ones. You may find A the one. And when I say A the one, it means you found a person that you connect with and you've watered that plant so that it's grown. You've invested time and you've nurtured that relationship. Now, how do you know when you found the one? Well, it's all going to come down from watering, right? It's like when you plant a seed in the ground, you just see a seed. But you know that with water, with sunlight, with care, that seed will sprout into a flower, right? Now, that seed may sprout into a flower and then the flower may wilt and die. You don't know, but it's only in the process of nurturing and that you can start to see what that seed needs. Oh, it needs a little bit more water. Oh, it needs a little bit more sunlight. Or, hey, I don't have the energy and resources to really, really connect with this flower and make it grow, so I'll try with a different flower, right? People are kind of like that too. We take time to get to know them. We see what we have in common. We learn about their hopes and their dreams. We're vulnerable and open up and share our own life experiences with them too. And then we really start to see, are we compatible? Can we grow together? Do we have similar visions and goals? And if you do, that's how I think you know when you found the one, because this is a person you can continue to build a strong, happy life with. But you're only going to get there by really taking time to really get to know that person as best as you can. Hamish says, I couldn't imagine deleting my social media. Yeah, man, I think about deleting social media all the time. And then I think back and it's like, but I really love talking to you guys, interacting with people. So, it's tough. Social media is addictive. I did a video all about it, guys. It's super addictive. Sensei Moon says, Josh, there is 0.000000001 of there being the perfect woman. Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. It's like we believe in this idea of the perfect person, but what is that perfect person, right? It's like maybe they can pretend to be a perfect person, but they are going to have days where they feel insecure. They're going to have days where they feel depressed and non-hopeful. They're going to have days where they feel lost and angry and upset and moody. Like, we're humans. We experience all this range of positive and negative emotions, all different kinds of things. So this idea of the perfect person, what we say when we mean the perfect person, here's what we really mean. What we really mean is someone who we think is going to fulfill all of our needs. That's what we generally think of when we say the perfect person. But in order for a couple to be perfect, you have to aim to fulfill each other's needs. Meaning, if you come across someone that you feel is not perfect, well, it's possible that, they may be a better partner for you. And it might be a matter of learning to curb some of your behaviors, curb some of your ways of thinking, trying new things, exploring, reshaping yourselves to see how you two can fit together better. So this idea of a perfect person, throw it away. Recognize that we are just as we are. We're just people. And even in our imperfection, we can still find hope and meaning and connection and love. It's 100% possible. Cool. Let's jump into some more questions here. Into one more before I want to share some cool stuff with you guys. Let's take a quick water break here. Okay. GT Revs says, hey Josh, I get serious anxiety attacks the night before college and I can't sleep when it happens. What can I do? Yeah, man, that's tough. That's really, really tough. I think that, if you're struggling with anxiety attacks like that, I think maybe something that could be helpful is creating a routine for yourself, right? I think a lot of times the anxiety stems from feeling at a loss of control, feeling like you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how to manage it. So developing a routine for yourself is going to be helpful. I'll share more about that after this, but I want to get to Andrew's super chat. Jeez. Andrew, thank you so much for the super chat. Andrew said, a girl rejected me 2 months ago and I stopped talking to her. 2 days ago, she messaged me for the first time since. Should I go back to talking to her? Really, really good question, Andrew. Really, really good question. I think that, should you go back to talking to her? Well, I guess ultimately what it really comes down to is what is it that you hope will come from your interaction with her again? She rejected you in the past because there's a lot of reasons why people get rejected, right? You might get rejected because maybe she didn't feel like she was close enough to you or she knew enough about you. Maybe she felt like you guys weren't there yet to start dating or going out with each other. Maybe she felt like she needed to spend a little bit more time learning about you beforehand. Another reason why she might have rejected you is maybe she just wasn't ready for a relationship at that moment. Maybe she had a lot going on with her family, or social life was crazy, or school was crazy, and she just couldn't imagine bringing a relationship into the fold. It just wasn't what she was prepared for. If she messaged you for the first time, that means that you were probably on her mind, or something popped up in her life that reminded her of you. So the question really comes down to, what do you want from the equation? Do you want to show her that, hey, in the last 2 months, I've grown, I've matured, I've pursued my hobbies, I've worked on myself, and now you can show her how, like 2 months may not sound like a lot of time, but it depends, right? You can do a lot in 2 months. You can show her how you've evolved as a person, you're more confident in yourself, and come back into the equation and ask her out again. That's something you can do. Another thing you can do is, if you feel like she rejected you and you're deeply hurt by it, and after that rejection, it was just like, whoa, sorry, my allergies are kicking my butt. After that rejection, it's like, well, I don't want to talk to her anymore. I don't care about it anymore. Then fine. Then be very cordial with her, say hi back, and then let it be. But I would think that you lean more towards the first point there, which is you probably still like this girl, right? Because it's only been 2 months. But take the time, reflect on how much you've grown and changed in the last 2 months, and bring that to the table. Let her see that you've become way more confident in those 2 months, right? Like 2 months is summer break, right? Let's say at the end of a school year, you say bye to someone, 2 months go by, summer break, you come back. It's like a lot can happen in 2 months. So Andrew, I think that you should go back to talking to her if that's something you truly want to do. Don't allow the fact that she rejected you before stop you from pursuing her today, especially if she messaged you first, because there's still a potential there. She might not have been in the right place to actually go out back then. She might be there now, so might as well take advantage of that. But Andrew, thank you for the £5 super chat, man. I hope that was helpful in some way. I wanted to kind of share, I was talking about routine before, right, guys? So when I say create a routine, that helps you have a little bit sense of control over your day and your experience. So if you feel like you're going to go to college, let's say tomorrow's you're going to go to college and you're nervous about it, try to create a nighttime routine for yourself. Maybe tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to do everything I can and have as much control over my life as I can right now to feel like I can prepare for that. Because you can't, right? Like your mind is going to keep wandering to tomorrow, and it's not tomorrow. It's you're in today right now. So your mind is thinking ahead to a time that doesn't even exist yet. So by creating a routine for yourself, you allow your mind to be present-minded. Right? You become part of the present, and you're able to focus and have a sense of control, and you're able to control the anxiety right now. So a routine might look something like this. Maybe, after you finish school for the day or whatever, you exercise. Maybe do some push-ups, some sit-ups, whatever it is. Take a shower after the exercise, eat dinner, maybe play a video game for an hour or so, whatever you want, and then maybe journal. Right? Write about what you want to accomplish in college. Write about what your goals are for the future. Write about hobbies you want to pursue. Make a checklist of things that you're interested in. Really take ownership of your day like that. Create a routine for yourself, and then after you do it, go to sleep. And when you're going to sleep, if you find your mind wandering and worrying about the future that's to come, try to focus on your breathing. Because like I said, it all comes back to being in the present moment and doing things that's going to allow you to operate and have a sense of control in the present. So that's what I would recommend there. But really, really good question. Now, I want to jump in and share a few cool things with you guys here. Let's pull those up. First thing I want to share is this. I know most of you already know this, but for those that don't, I wrote a book called Embracing the Awkward. This is a guide, a self-help guide for teens to succeed at school, life, and relationships. Ideally, I wrote it for teens, but I think that I mentioned experiences in my college years. I mentioned post-college in there. So if you're someone that's in middle school, high school, or college, this book will probably be helpful for you. Even if you're a little bit ahead in college and you're just curious, I think this book will be helpful for you. I really try my best to break down a lot of the core concepts I talk about in my videos in this book. So I share tips on how to deal with rejection. I share tips on how to talk I share tips on how to talk to your crush. I talk about practicing mindfulness, and like I was just mentioning there, kind of being in the present moment and how you can do that. I also share a lot of my own personal story, right? My own personal experiences in life, failures I've had, struggles I've had, rejection that I faced, things like that. All in all, it's the aggregate of all the main ideas I share here, put together in a book form, that's kind of made to help you guys learn how to embrace your awkward. So you can check that out. If you're interested, it's available on Amazon. Just go to thejoshspeaks.com/awkward. It'll take you to the Amazon page. I think I've sold over like 3,000 copies or something crazy like that, but I'm super proud of it. It's a book that I'm really happy to share with you guys. Another cool thing I want to share with you guys is this. Now, I know a lot of you guys have messages for me, or people tell me all the time, Josh, I sent you a DM, you didn't respond, what do I do? Now, if you want to talk to me, if you have a quick question that's on your mind, something you just want a quick answer for, the best way to send me a message is to shoot me a text. Here's my texting number. You can send me one at 718-400-7129. I use an app called Community, which is a texting app that allows you to kind of send out mass texts and also respond to people one by one. What's cool is it also tells me when your birthday is. So I'm always telling people happy birthday, and they're always like, how'd you know it was my birthday? Which is fun. But it's a great way to connect with me. And if you just want to ask a quick question and get a quick answer, texting me is the best way to do that. So check out that, guys. I have a few more cool resources I want to share, but I got to honor Azim's super chat because this is a burning question that's on his mind. I really got to fix that. Let's get to Azim's super chat question. Azim says, thank you again for the $5 super chat. Azim says, let's say if you were pressured by 100 people to give up something you love very much, such as your YouTube channel, would you do it or would you stay strong? I would 100% say strong, because here's the thing. And look, I'm not saying it's easy, right? Because people pressuring you can be really, really tough. I'm not trying to say like, just write it off. It's nothing. People can be very, very persuasive when they put pressure on you. But the reason why I would say I would stay strong is because my YouTube channel, and I think for anyone, for you even too, Azim, anyone who has a YouTube channel, it is a passion project. At the end of the day, YouTube is a passion project. You spend hours and hours writing scripts, recording videos, editing them, putting them up, promoting them, rewatching your old videos and, being proud of it in a sense, organizing them into playlists, responding to comments, looking at analytics. You spend a lot of time and dedication into making your channel what it is. Now, 100 people telling you, give it up, don't do it, it's stupid, it's a waste of time, you're not going to get anywhere, it's never going to be successful. Everyone's going to have an opinion, but no one, unless they are in the actual position, will understand the dedication and importance it means to you. Even if you make a YouTube channel and it makes no money for years and years on end, you can still make videos and be proud of them and put them out there into the world, right? Like, aside from my Josh Speaks stuff, me and my friends used to have a comedy skit channel. And every year we would do our a random Halloween movie, right? We'd get together in Halloween costumes, record a movie. I'd put it on YouTube. The videos would get our most recent one that I put together last year, it gets like 20 views or something, 30 views, something crazy, nothing serious. And I can care less about the amount of views because I have so much fun putting it together with my friends and putting it out there, and then knowing that me and my friends are going to watch it and feel good about it. So 100 people's opinions is not worth your passion, your excitement, and your interest. It's not. If 100 people, especially if they're close family and friends and people that know you, don't understand what matters to you, they don't understand you. They don't understand you. They can tell you should do something, but if they don't recognize that this YouTube channel is something that is of importance to you, they don't get you. And if people don't get you, their opinions should hold a lot less weight. That'd be my experience, my answer there, Azim. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Anthony says, how is your second book doing? The second book that I put out, Higher Ground, which was that teen novel, hasn't really sold a lot of copies. I don't really expect it to. I kind of put it out there more for fun. I share it every so often, and it's just an interesting thing to kind of put out there. I'll pull it up here in case you guys are curious. This is the one that Anthony's talking about. This is a book that I wrote. This is a book that I wrote for NaNoWriMo, which is the National Novel Writing Month, where every single November you try to write a 50,000 word novel. And this is the book that I wrote the first time I did NaNoWriMo, and I finally put it together. I was just proud of it. It was just something fun to do. And I put it up on the internet. A few people have bought it and stuff, but overall it hasn't been a major seller like Embracing the Awkward, I think. But it's more for just fun. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's like that was a passion project that I just did for fun. I did it for me at the end of the day. But cool. So one more quick thing I want to share with you guys, because this I think is going to be really, really important, is before I get into a few more questions, our community, the Josh Speaks community over on Discord. Now, if you don't already know about it, basically on Discord, which is a communication app, there's different boards and stuff and chats on there. There's voice chats and there's text chats and stuff. But on Discord, it's a great place to make friends, to talk about what's going on in your life, and to get advice. I put this Discord together, and I can't even take full credit because I feel like there's so many amazing people that have helped grow it into a real community. Donna the Gamer, Hamish is in there, Rage is in there. A lot of people are in there. But I feel like a lot of you guys have really made it into a real home and community and a place to help each other. And that's exactly what its intention is. Our community on Discord is a great place to kind of really work on just being your best self and being surrounded by people that have that same vision and goal. It's a great place to talk about what's on your mind. If you have a dating question, just go into our dating board there and ask, and people will jump in and share their perspective, and they'll give opinions and things like that. I think the Discord is a wonderful, wonderful place. If you're someone that actively watches my videos or actively jumps into live streams or jumps on my Instagram after parties, you should definitely be a member of our Discord community. I think it's a great place to just meet people with like-minded visions and goals there. But cool. So let me jump back into some more questions here, guys. Let's pull that up. Cool. And like I said, if you haven't already hit the thumbs up, we're at 41 likes. I said, we're going to get this to 50 likes by the end of the live stream. Let's do this. All right, cool. Let's grab some more questions. Josiah Gaudette says, I want to ask this girl out, and it's not a rush because we've been hanging out for years. Any advice? Really, really good question. So if you've been hanging out for years, I forgot to acknowledge, Hamish, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. I really appreciate it, man. I didn't want to overlook that. You got Higher Ground, still need to read it? Yeah, Hamish, when you do get a chance to read it, let me know what you think. I'd love to get your perspective and feedback on that, man. I appreciate you for picking it up. So where was I? You've known this girl for years, and you've been hanging out with her. Now, this is something that I've talked about in a few videos, but ultimately what tends to happen in situations like that, where you've known someone for such a long time and you've spent so much time creating a type of relationship with them, in this case, it's just a casual friendship, that it's hard to go from that casual friendship to a romantic relationship. It's difficult. So you have a few different ways to kind of approach it. One way to approach it is this. You can kind of take some time away from that person. Stop hanging out with them so much. Stop talking to them so much. Take a break from them so that... Geez, my allergies, man, they kick my butt every May. Take some time away from them, and that time away is going to be time for them to, one, miss you, but two, for you to kind of work on yourself so that when you do reapproach them again, they're like, whoa, like, you've changed in the last month or so that I haven't talked to you, you know? So having that break is going to break up the cycle of how they've gotten to know you. That's one way. A second way is start changing how you're interacting with that person, right? So the way you start changing how you're interacting with them is you want to make it seem in a way like there's a switch that flipped in your brain. And that switch is now something about them is different. Something about them really stands out to you. Something about them is attractive, and you're just so curious to explore what that feeling is. And the way that you do that is when you see them in person, you kind of talk to them and give them a look and be like, there's something different about you. I don't really know what it is, but I really like it. I don't know what it is. I'm just digging it about you. And drop that. Drop that into conversation. Let them see that you're observing them differently, right? And by them observing, by them noticing that you're observing them differently, what they're going to start to see now is, and what you should start doing is start flirting with them. once you make that comment, you now should be changing the way that you interact with them. You're no longer going to talk to them like a casual friend. Now you should be flirting with them. Now you should be talking to them, asking them to hang out one-on-one. You really want to change the way that you go about interacting with them. So flip the switch and talk to them differently, or take some time away from them and then come back into the fold a different grown person so they could see that. But those would be my 2 tips on there. What's your allergies? Yasmin asks. I have, hay fever, which is, all the pollen and stuff in the air. It always hits me in May. Every time I see that Justin Timberlake, it's gonna be May meme, I'm like, you guys don't know. May's May Day for me. It's the worst. My eyes get puffy. I start getting a runny nose. My face starts breaking out. I start getting a lot of phlegm, coughing a lot. It's crazy. May is not a fun month for me. Finished all my water. Cool. All right, let's get to some more questions on here. See, how do you normalize hanging out with girls? Because it's always like that. Always like that needs to be something going on. It's always, let me see if I can understand that again. How do you normalize hanging out with girls? Because it's always like that needs to be something going on. Okay, so I guess are you saying like, girls will really only want to hang out if there's something happening? So the idea of like hanging out, just kind of hanging out, playing video games or something, is not something they're too interested in. If that's the case, I guess it all really depends, right? So if you find that you have common interests with a girl or a group of girls and stuff, it might be easier for you guys to hang out and just kind of hang out. Ultimately, I think the way that you kind of get more comfortable hanging out with girls, because for myself growing up, the girls that I kind of hung out with were casual friends, right? Like they'd come over, we'd all hang out, it'd be a big group of people. We'd go in the pool that we had. We had, a pool and stuff, or we'd go to the park, or we'd go to the city, or we'd do something as a group together. And I think that the way that, like to your point, it's like there always needs to be something happening, but you may find a few girls here and there that maybe just want to hang back and play video games at home, or maybe just want to kind of like watch movies and stuff like that. It really all depends. But I think that the way that you start to discover those type of relationships is by starting with the outdoor activities and then pulling it back into more reserved and relaxed activities. I think you need to kind of start with the outward stuff and then move towards the inward stuff, right? It's kind of like if you make a new friend, most likely with that friend, you guys are going to go out and do something fun. And then as you get to know them better, you guys don't care so much about having to go out. You guys can just enjoy each other's company and hanging out, and that's that. Girls, same way, right? Groups of girls, individual girls, whatever it may be, same concept. He says, oh yeah, that was poorly phrased. Yeah, if a guy and a girl hang out, everyone's always like, ooh, cute, or something like that. Ah, okay. So that's the second piece to a question. I'll get to that question right after I answer Azim's super chat. Azim, thank you so much for the $5, not £5, $5 super chat there. I really appreciate it, man. Azim says, journey towards the MGTOW side. Is it bad? I don't think I'm going there, but it seems like it could be detrimental. Also, can we talk tomorrow at 9? Yeah, Azim, definitely. We can definitely have our convo tomorrow. Just shoot me a message on GChat, 9 a.m. my time or 9 a.m. your time. I think you mean 9 a.m. my time. And if that's the case, totally fine. But journey towards the MGTOW side, is it bad? I don't think MGTOW ultimately in its concept is bad, right? Because MGTOW means, for those of you guys who don't know, means men going their own way. And basically it's a term used for when guys generally decide that they no longer want to settle down with women. In some cases, they no longer want to pursue women. They no longer want to kind of get pulled into this kind of dating and mating life and routine. They just kind of want to casually do whatever they want. They want to live their lives. They don't want to be burdened with the idea of always having to deal with some type of relationship in some kind of way. That's generally what MGTOW means. It could be detrimental for some because sometimes people fall into, I guess, this MGTOW crowd out of angst and anger. Maybe they were in a relationship and they got burned really bad. Maybe they got divorced and their wife took everything from them or took the kids away and they can't see their kids. A lot of guys sometimes can become jaded and bitter because they've had bad experiences, and that can lead them towards MGTOW. And I think that sometimes it just becomes what's the term I'm looking for? Essentially what happens is like people who are hurt reconfirm the hurt for others, right? So like when you're surrounded by people who are negative, you tend to be more negative. It kind of becomes that same thing. If you're around people in MGTOW that generally are upset and angry all the time and feel like women suck and dating sucks and you're going to lose if you try dating, if you're surrounded by that, you're going to tend to kind of fall more into that. What I would recommend is that ask yourself if finding a partner is something you want and something you want to do. And if it is, then I think that it's totally fine, kind of balancing how much you want to prioritize that in your life. Thank you so much, Azim. Thank you so much, Brian, for the $5 super chat. Brian says, hey, Josh, so I asked someone out, but they essentially turned me down. How do I get over it and not find it awkward with the girl? That's another good question. So you essentially, let me reread this. So I asked someone out, but they essentially turned me down. How do I get over it and not find it awkward with the girl? Yeah, Brian. Okay, let's dive into this. When you ask someone out, you are taking a chance with being caught up in an awkward moment where they might say no, right? Like that's not, we hope that it doesn't lead to that, but sometimes it happens, right? You ask someone out, they kind of say, oh, I'm not interested. And then now it's like, well, now what do I do? When I see them, it's going to be weird. And if I talk to them, it's going to be weird. You run into a lot of those type of situations. I think the way around that ultimately is the other person is going to reflect how you choose to approach the situation. So if the person who rejected you sees that you're avoiding them, you're not making eye contact, you are shy when you're around them, they're also going to feel weird about it, right? But if you recognize it as, hey, this person rejected me, that's cool. I'm going to pursue other people. When I see this person, I'm just going to keep talking to them as if like, okay, you want to go out with me? That's cool. I'll find someone else. No biggie. As if this hasn't made a major dent in your life. So when you see that girl, if you walk up there and you're like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? You casually talk to her and I got to go meet with a few friends. I'll see you later. Or I got to go do something. I'll talk to you later. She's going to be like, okay, cool. He's not being weird about it. So there's no reason for me to be weird about it. So the way that you overcome that weirdness is by just acting as if asking a person out was just a normal thing to do and there's nothing wrong with it. If the person says no, that's okay. It doesn't need to be weird. But that person is probably going to be reflective. That girl is going to be reflective of how you choose to handle and approach the situation. So I think that the more that you can kind of normalize the fact that you ask people out, it's something you do. You ask people out when you're interested and that's it. Now, if she does end up acting weird, if every time you see her, she avoids you and she's the one who feels awkward, you can try to reassure her that there's no reason to be awkward, right? And that might mean kind of like you initiating the interaction with her whenever you see her. Or if you see that she's avoiding you, just try not to pay too much attention to it. Try to, like recognize that she may need some time to kind of get over that herself. But ultimately, you have control over how you choose to approach that situation. And if you choose to approach it with continued awkwardness, it's going to remain awkward. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I hope that answer was helpful there. Guys, we're at 48 likes. We can get this to 50 likes. We can do this. All right, let's get a few more questions in here. Let's see what we got. Donald Trump. I'll try to read this in my best Donald Trump voice. It's going to be horrible, by the way. My best mate's girl is flirting with me. What do I do? That wasn't Donald Trump. All right. My best mate's girl is flirting with me. People have been saying she's been flirting with me. What do I do? I can't do Donald Trump. I can't. It's hard. All right. So your best mate's girl is flirting with you. What do you do? Let's get to the real answer there. If your best mate's girl is flirting with you, this is tough because there's two people you need to talk to, and that is the girl and your best friend, right? You need to talk to both of them. You need to talk to the girl and tell her, hey, listen, you're dating my friend. That's really not cool. He values you as his girlfriend. Be respectful of that. Tell her that, right? And then I think you also need to tell your friend, hey, dude, your girl sent me this message and stuff. I didn't initiate it, but I just wanted you to know that. Because ultimately, here's the thing. It's like you might be thinking, well, I don't want to ruin their relationship or get them to fight or anything, but you care about your friend. You want your friend to be with a person who's going to value them, right? And a person who's not going to kind of go behind their back and start flirting with others. So you need to talk to both of them. Talk to the girl and kind of set her straight in that sense. Hey, that's not cool. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a part of that. And don't do that to my friend. And talk to your friend and let him know. Let him know what's going on there. Hamish, thank you for the £2 super chat. Hamish said, Josh, what musical instruments do you play? That's a good question. I am an expert years and years of training and hours and hours of blood, sweat, and tears in playing the recorder. I play the recorder. I know how to play The Legend of Zelda. A few songs from Legend of Zelda. I could play Sarah's song. I always forget. That one, Temple of Time. I could play the Power Rangers theme song. I could play the Star Wars theme song. Here Comes the Bride. Hot Cross Buns. Yeah. I'm a pro in the recorder, but that's the only instrument I play, Hamish, literally. I tried playing guitar when I was younger. Didn't really work out. I always wanted to play drums, never really got into it. But yeah, the recorder, I could play Hot Cross Buns. I could play a mean Hot Cross Buns. I'll do my own rendition of a Hot Cross Buns there. But yeah, that's the only instrument I play. We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president. Oh, man. Can I do a Joe Biden impression? I don't even know if I could do Joe Biden. Come on, man. You know, that's okay, Jack. You know, he's got this. I don't know. Whatever. Why am I trying to do impressions? What am I doing? That's not what this is about. All right. Cool. I'm going to answer. Let's do one more question. Two more questions, guys. So jump into the chat right now and submit those questions there. And I'll pick 2 of them out before I head on over to the Instagram after party. In fact, send those questions into the chat and I'll quickly show you guys what's going to happen right after this live stream. I usually live stream here for an hour, but then I jump over on Instagram for the Instagram after party. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you gotta follow me on Instagram at the Josh Speaks. I go live over on there. And what's cool about the Instagram after party is that I bring you guys on to video chat with me. So you can always request to join and I'll bring you on to chat for a few minutes and stuff. It's always so cool seeing you guys face to face. So it's just a fun experience there. Who's Jack? I wish I knew, Hamish. I wish I knew. But yeah, so follow me over on Instagram for the Instagram after party. You guys are all invited. It's an after party, so it's pretty laid back, pretty chill, pretty fun. So I'd love to see you guys there. Cool. All right, let's get back into the last 2 questions of the live stream. Was that a super chat? It was. Cool. There we go. Oh, wow. I heard the sound before it popped up in the chat, which means my internet's running pretty fast. All right, cool. Let's see. I always mispronounce your names. Yeah, Jens, I believe you said it was last time. Said, can you come back at my question of the boy and girl hangout that's always dating thing? Yes. My apologies. I definitely wanted to come back to that. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I will approach that. Look, here's the thing. Society doesn't really always normalize girls and boys hanging out as they get older. When kids are young, right? When you're like in elementary school and you have girlfriends, you have boyfriends, friends you hang out with, people or whatever. But as you get older, what tends to happen is as you start to hit puberty, people start to kind of impose a sense of romanticism on every relationship you have, right? It's a sucky thing. It's not how it should be, but it's what society tends to do. Like I said, we can get into this kind of why society operates the way it does, but it's what happens, right? Let's say you're 15, you're 16, and you have a girlfriend. People are going to be like, ooh, is she your girlfriend? Or, hey, are you guys dating? People are going to do those things, which can be really annoying because she may just be your friend. She may just be someone you hang out with, and you guys like the same video games or something. You guys have stuff in common. I think the way that you kind of... I guess ultimately the way you can work towards not being bothered by it, right? That's probably the best approach because you can't stop other people from doing that and just thinking like that. But the best way to kind of approach not being bothered by it is when someone makes a comment like that, you can always flip it on them and be like, if they're like, ooh, is that your girlfriend? You can always say something like, were you, any girl that you were friends with, were they your girlfriend? Like flip it on them and make them realize like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. Not every girl I was friends with was my girlfriend. Cause like I said, people tend to not realize that like, you can just be friends with someone. But I think when it comes to you being with that girl and if you're hanging out with her and someone says and you don't want to feel awkward around her, talk to her about it and talk about like this, guys, this is what I was saying before. Having those conversations with other girls or other guys, talking about the things that bother you and that annoy you that people do, both of you guys being on the same page, right? Let's say someone comes in and says something like that. You might want to give her a look and be like, one of those people. And now both of you guys have this little inside joke where you guys can joke about, listen, all these people are going to say these weird things about us. It's crazy, But normalize having those conversations with the person, with the girl that you're friends with, right? And I guess it might sound simplistic, but try not to let it bother you so much, because you know the type of friendship and the type of relationship you want to build with this girl. You know, like that's what I was saying before. It's like Azim said, 100 people may have opinions, but you know what it is you're looking for in this companionship, right? Maybe it's friendship, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's just hangout buddies, whatever it may be. So as long as you have a deep understanding of what you want, I think it's easier than to say, that person who's making that comment saying like, oh, is it your girlfriend? They don't even know. They don't even know what we have. Like they haven't even spent time around us to really know. So because that person's so uninformed, I wouldn't worry so much about what they're saying. I wouldn't think too deeply about what they're saying, because they're just out of the loop into what you're really trying to build here. But I hope that answer is helpful. Thank you for bringing it back to the question. It was an important one I definitely wanted to answer. In fact, maybe I'll do a video on that. I think it's a really good topic. All right, let's get one more question in before I head on over to Instagram. Let me see. What's a question that I haven't really addressed? Okay, Yasmin asked a really, really good question here. Yasmin said, let me pull this up. Yasmin said, Josh, you've talked about boundaries a few times, but I have this mindset that my friend or someone close should do anything for me because I would do it for them. What do you think? Is it toxic? That's a really, really good point, Yasmin. A really, really good question too. You would give the shirt off your back for your friend, and you think that they would do it for you too. You feel like you have that type of relationship. I think though that we have to recognize that boundaries are not. Boundaries is not essentially saying, hey, I don't care about you. That's not what a boundary is. A boundary is recognizing for yourself what your limitations are, right? So those limitations can be built on a few different things. They can be built on your comfort level, right? An example of a boundary that's built on comfort might be your friends want to go, they want to go hang out in the park really, really late at night. And you feel like, it's really not safe, or it's kind of scary to do that, or I might not feel comfortable. So your boundary, based on your comfort level, might be like, you know what, guys, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. I want to hang out with you guys, but it's not something I'm comfortable with. That's a boundary there. And that's healthy, right? It's healthy to establish that, because, like, if you don't feel like this is the right place to be or the right thing to do, it's okay to tell people that you don't want to be part of that, even if they choose to do it themselves. Another place where a boundary might be set is in what someone asks of you, right? So this kind of ties to what your question was. The idea of just doing anything for your friends and them doing it for you. Sometimes we're not in a place where we can give to others, right? So imagine if, let's say you just failed an exam, and you are down and depressed, and you just feel bad about it, and you feel like, man, this really sucks. Like, I feel sad. And your friend is like, hey, can you read my research report and tell me what you think about it? Like, I got to submit it tomorrow. Can you read it and let me know what you think? But you're not in that headspace. You're in a place where it's like, I just really need some time to kind of focus on just being by myself, maybe relaxing, not doing anything too complex. I just kind of need some time for myself. That is not being mean to your friend. Just because you can't fulfill someone else's desire doesn't mean you're a bad friend, and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. Ultimately, if your friends really, really care about you, then they have to and should really recognize your boundaries when you establish them. So if your friend comes to you and says, hey, can you read my research report? And you're like, you know what? I'm not really in the headspace right now. I'm kind of sad about the test I failed. And your friend is like, well, why won't you do it? You're a bad friend. How come you don't care about me? They're not being respectful of your boundaries, and that's not them being a good friend. If they were to be a good friend, they would go, hey, you know what? It sounds like you're dealing with a lot right now, like tell you what, instead of me putting this burden on you, let me know what's going on. They shift it and they focus on you because they notice that you may need help in that moment. So boundaries are so incredibly important because they allow us to set restrictions and not give more than we're capable of. And I think that the strongest friendships rest on respecting and understanding each other's boundaries, right? So, it's not a matter of I'll do everything that you want me to do, just like I want you to do everything you want of me. It's to say, I respect you as a person, and I know that you have your limitations, and I will not ask of you to do more than your limitations. There will be understanding of that because I care about you. That's kind of the ultimate core of the boundaries there and developing strong friendships. Yasmin, that was an amazing question. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I really, really appreciate that one. All right, guys. Now you know what time it is. Before I head on over to Instagram for the Instagram after party, I think you guys know what time it is. We passed 50 likes. We did it. I told you guys, told you twice. It is now time for our mindful moment. This is my favorite part of the stream because it gives us a chance to slow things down, to pull things back, and to really focus on being in the present moment. I have my bell right here. If you see the little bell, oh, right there. No, where is it? No, how come I can't point? Why is it so hard? There we go. The bell's right there. This is my little bell. And at the end of these live streams, I like to kind of take just 10 seconds to reflect on some of the things we heard. I saw some of you guys saying that you really liked some of the points or the advice and things like that I had shared. And if there was something that really resonated with you, I want you to take some time right now to reflect on that, to really think about it. Whether it was something having to do with approaching your crush or setting boundaries or feeling like you belong in some way or whatever it may be. Take some time right now. Let's all do it together. We're going to take 10 seconds to really think deeply about what we heard in this live stream and about how we can grow and work on being our best selves. Because that's what this channel is all about, helping you learn how to be your best self. So if you want, you can close your eyes. I'll close my eyes so you don't feel alone. And if you're around people, you don't really feel like closing your eyes, that's okay too. Just take 10 seconds and breathe deeply with us. And let's think about what we've experienced and learned in this live stream. 10 seconds, guys. Close our eyes. Let's warm up the bell. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this live stream. I really enjoyed all your questions. Thank you guys so much for all the super chat donations. I'm blown away by that. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful, guys. If you still have questions that I didn't get to on this live stream, like I said, shoot me a text message or jump on our Instagram after party. You can ask the questions there. Thank you guys again for being a part of this live stream. If you're watching the replay, check out the videos listed over there where I share more dating advice that I think will be super, and life advice that'll be super helpful for you. I'll catch you guys over on Instagram. As always, love and peace. See you guys next time.